Let's do it. So we're looking at the Pacific Division, and we're starting with the Kings. And you'll notice that I am very infatuated with a purple beam. And this is a really recent one for an iconic moment for a franchise, the most iconic in my mind. But Sacramento, storied history goes way back. Rochester Royals or something like that. Like there is history here. And Sacramento, I think I've done the swerve where I didn't pick the thing that I thought you would pick because obviously the Sacramento Kings with Chris Webber and Vlade Divac, they were going to be the logical pick because that's probably the most that anyone's cared about Sacramento outside of Sacramento in the last 30 years. So, could I have picked the Robert Horry buzzer beater? Could I have picked the free throw conspiracy? Could I have picked just the general team shot? What I've done is I've erased that history. Sacramento is brand new. They've got De'Aaron Fox, they've got Domantas Sabonis, and they've got the beam. And the beam is probably just one of the clever, probably inadvertent marketing tricks that a team's come up with in a recent while. And it's iconic for the average person. I guarantee you that in America, more people know about Sacramento because of this beam than they do because of the team that you're about to talk about. But you talk us through it.
I'm highly amused that you've chosen the beam as the most iconic image for the Sacramento Kings history. Considering you went off for a spiel that you wanted to talk about whatever is it? Were you talking about Cincinnati Royals or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah,
Let's be
yeah, there you
honest.
go. That's it.
Let's be honest here. I don't know any of that history. Okay. Sure, I could go do a reading session on Wikipedia about all that stuff back then. But I do not know that history. Closely, I guess, associated with the Kings. Because I guess my history really starts in the 90s, obviously, when I was growing up in that sort of sense. And the Kings were on the radar that were back then. All right. And this Chris Webber led team, which I've selected here, was in many senses a perfectly built roster. Yeah, through many sort of aspects of drafting and trades. You've got the right players in the right positions, plus the depth on the bench. And you sort of alluded to some of those moments that they came up against, which they fell short. The Horry Three, the sort of scandal, referee scandal, and a lot of the just inability to sort of close out those clutch moments. And that probably highlights a whole bunch of franchises if you think about that. There's other franchises that were so close, like the Jazz, like the Knicks, that didn't really sort of get over the hump, even though they had that great constructed lineup with all stars and great players across the board in that sort of sense. So, look, I guess, and you sort of said it, you hit it on the head. Since then, name another starting five since the Chris Webber era. Name the starting five in any of those years in the last 20 plus years now. I think you'd probably struggle to do that. Yeah, you might pick a few players here and there, right? Boogie Cousins. Maybe Tyreek Evans in his rookie year, put him on the map somewhat when he won Rookie of the Year. And so on and so forth. I don't know. Can we actually pick a third name? Can you give me a third name of the Kings that mattered in the last 20 years besides those two names? I'm just trying to think right now. Like, you could say IT was there before he was IT, right? But that's the thing, then they let him go. I don't know. It was like the Kings are sort of an interesting franchise that they've had that really a lot of lack of success, and here they're back at the winners table this year with this beam that you've selected. Yeah, but look, I don't know. I feel your memory's a little bit short.
Yeah, and I feel like the only other thing that I thought of was Stauskas, Nick Stauskas. I remember there being a really big viral draft
But Jimmy
video about
Fredette,
Nick
Jimmy
Stauskas.
Fredette,
Yep,
Jimmy
Jimmy
Fredette,
Fredette as
Jimmy
well.
Fredette.
But yeah, look, I think the one positive thing about the beam for me is that it's just erased everything that you knew about the Kings, and they're on the up, and I'm excited for the Kings.
This is Two Guys with Spare Time. I'm Faz, this is Nick. You're probably a basketball fan like us, so hopefully you can throw us an assist and giving our video a like and subscribing to our channel.
And if you got thoughts, feelings, or even some suggestions, please put them down in the comment section below. And thank you for using your spare time to watch us in our spare time.